Hey everyone, Epic Mercury here. So I'm going to propose a very unpopular opinion, which if you've viewed any of the shorts on my channel, probably will be familiar to you. Regarding disclosure, everybody's pushing for it at the moment. I see a ton of people out there intellectually dissecting the testimony of people like Bob Lazar from my perspective as a trained remote viewer, is absolutely true. He's telling the truth as far as he remembers it and real events that actually happened. However, I've said before, I think we're pushing for disclosure way too quick. As Congressman Tim Burchett recently said on a podcast, and he was trying to be very restrained and very polite. He said that, if the public knew, the Americans knew some of the activity, some of the things that have been disclosed to him, they would have trouble sleeping at night. And I can tell you, I can testify, I've been a remote viewer for 20 years. And probably one of the reasons why more people don't pursue remote viewing, and I've seen this happen before with people I have actually trained, they come across something that is truly disturbing. They ask a question they think they want the answer to, whether it's something religious or whether it's something or what they think is extraterrestrial. And they get a disturbing answer or a series of disturbing answers that they know is true because of the way they're tracking when they're training as far as their accuracy with the targets before and after. And they really struggle. They really struggle to know. I've seen quite a few people who I've taken a significant amount of time to train just stop viewing. They come across something it's not that they don't believe it. It's that they've downloaded the information themselves directly. And they've done this multiple times with multiple blind targets and gotten accurate information that they know is reliable. And they know it's accurate and they just don't want to face it. So that being said, there have been a lot of things over the years that I have remote viewed as a remote viewer. One of them was which I may or may not get into at some point, was a snow print that was supposedly from Skinwalker Ranch that I remote viewed, and it was probably one of the most scary experiences of my entire life. So that's called target reference material in remote viewing. You get something that you don't know if it's true or if it's real or the origin of it, and you stick it in your blind target pool and you let your unconscious, when you pull that target out, explore that in the blind. So your conscious awareness is not in the way. You have no preconceived ideas about what you're looking at. All you have is 8 random target reference numbers. So um, there have been quite a few things involving what we would consider to be the UAP topic, alien activity, that would be very disturbing. And so I'm putting out this video not so much because I don't think people are going to be curious. They're going to want to know. I guess the part that bothers me a little bit is, one, if you really want to know, if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, you can learn remote viewing and it's reliable. Look, it's reliable. It has a feedback system. There's a hard feedback system that helps train your unconscious on knowing when it's on target, so to speak, when it's actually on what you're trying to get, or whether you're looking at something that's imaginary, or whether you're looking at something that's not real, or something that's philosophical, or really it's just an abstract idea, for instance, as opposed to an actual physical reality. That being said, Americans pushing for full disclosure of what the government knows, I just think it's a mistake. I can't put it any other way. The other thing I want to say, and of course people are going to say, well, you're disclosing the agenda of the aliens. In a way, I guess I am. You have to understand that we as a species, we're still relatively immature. A lot of people would disagree, but just take a look at what human beings are willing to do to each other. In the modern secular age, we have all but abandoned traditional values, traditional morality, traditional religious views, and are busy deconstructing our entire society. Everybody wants to scream, and I'm sorry, you guys are screaming into the wind like a toddler. I can't put it any other way. I'd like to put it more easier on your ego, but that is what's happening when you're screaming for full disclosure. You don't want what you're asking for because, one, society, look at what happened during COVID. It was a virus. And I'm sorry, it was a rough cold, guys. And look what happened with society. Everything went completely insane. What do you think would happen if for some reason there was full disclosure of every dirty, dark, dank little secret pertaining to alien or ultra-dimensional activity here on the planet Earth? If it was revealed, society would break down tomorrow. There would be a run on the banks. Nothing would function. And everybody said, oh no, we're ready to handle it. We're not. I'm sorry, guys. I can't put this any other way. I'm not being condescending. If anything, I'd rather have you think of me as your older brother who's taken a look at all this stuff, and it is extremely difficult to digest. Not only that, from an advanced civilization point of view, you come across a very immature society, or maybe one that you even created or seeded, and you're trying to help them eventually find their way into the interstellar community. There are parts of the things that you're doing they're never going to quite understand. There's parts of trying to uplift them that you're never quite going to get. They're never quite going to get until they have advanced to a certain degree. There's a lot of what aliens would not be able to reveal. So I'm going to say, yes, there are government agencies. Yes, there are governments out there trying to suppress the truth. But overall, because there's more than one race, overall, the aliens themselves, the ones who are guarding the earth and trying to protect us from the greater galactic civilization, they are the ones who are pushing for secrecy more than anything else. They're the ones. So it's not like our government, the United States government, for instance, has not been threatened. It has. I think curiosity is a good thing. I think we can ask for slow disclosure. I would encourage people to go, for instance, watch the new movie that's been released, S4, the Bob Lazar story. Excellent story, but this needs to be a slow process. The universe is a very large, mysterious place, and we human beings are not going to adjust really well to being toppled from the top of the pyramid. And I'm not just saying religiously, because people always want to criticize religionists, people who have any spiritual beliefs, just scientists, just engineers, government officials, you name it. They're all going to have trouble being toppled from the top of the hierarchy pyramid. We need to take this slow. And if you ask me, the people who really want to know, if you really want to get into some of this stuff, I would suggest learning remote viewing. I would love to teach that widespread one of these days, because, the whole paradigm allegory, teach a man, give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach him how to fish, feed him for a lifetime. So I would much rather get into that and into gradual psychic development than get into full disclosure that would be nothing but detrimental to society. So I hope you will hear my words and encouragement of restraint. I understand where you're coming from. I understand the curiosity. There are ways to satisfy that curiosity without wiping ourselves off the map. Thank you.